Okay, we're going to be talking about sorting. Now, remember when we were talking about this binary search, there's one important precondition is that the array should be sorted. Now, what if we have a very long array and I would like to sort that array? A large array that has many elements. And in order for us to sort that array, what would be the way to sort that array? Do you have any idea? If I'm giving you, let's say, I'm just going to, again, have an array. Let's say I'm going to have an int. Just work with ints for now. Now this is my array, equal new array of, this time I'm going to make it 100 elements. Let's make it 50. And then I would like to initialize those randomly. I'm going to do something else. Instead of creating an object, I'm going to create an object and call this in a loop. So for a loop of this array.length, this array I, I'm just going to put inside of it new random dot next int, and it's going to be between 0 and 100. So I'm going to do this plus 1. So it's going to be between 1 and 100 now. And I will display that without going back to the line. So you can have a look at the array that we just create. So array, this is my array. Okay, so it's a lot of values, but I would like to sort them now from smallest to largest, let's say, or from largest to smallest, whatever. So if this was a task, this is a Java 1 question. If this is your task, I would like to do the following. I'd like to sort the array somehow, and then display it again. And after I display it, I'm just going to display it again. I'm just going to do something. The array is sorted. Just sorted array. So maybe display it like the sorted array. And after this, at this point, if I'd like to display it, I would like it to be sorted. Now I'm just displaying the same thing again because I would like to put some code in here that is going to sort that. Do you have any idea how to sort that? Yes?
Set the value to be max and then check each value, and if it's greater than it, make the max until.
Okay, that's a good starting point. Let's say I'm going to, let's say, find the max. So how can I do the max? Yeah, how can I find the max? Yeah. So I'm going to set the first value of the element to be like the max. Okay.
And then in the if statement, if the value after that is greater.
If the value after that, what is the value after that? Array 1.
Inside the loop. So array 1, but will be inside the loop.
But I need to put a loop because.
So inside the loop is an if statement.
So inside the for loop until the array.length. And we should start from 1 because we put this here. I'm going to put an if what? If max
is
less than array of I. That means I found a number that is greater than the maximum. Then max equal array of I. After I've done this, I'm able to find the max. And then what do I do with that max? The max is, okay, fine, I found the max. Is that it? That's how I sort? Well, I found the maximum is 99. Okay, good. So 99 should be where? Should be the last one. Okay. Then, so what am I going to do? Let's say I'm going to do something like this is the array, and then this is the sorted array. This is maybe a way I'm going to just make it the same size, right? And then once I found this max, I'm just going to put it in the sorted array to the last part. I mean, to be the last one. How can I know the last one? Well, it's dot length minus 1. And I put the max in there. Now, instead of displaying the array, I'm just going to display this sorted array. And this is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And the last one is 100 because the max is 100 now with this new random numbers. Is that okay? But I just found one max. How about to find the next to the max? By a loop? Okay. Okay, what do I... what is the loop? Loop doing what?
Maybe a nested loop. So inside the loop, another loop like those.
Inside this one?
No, inside the loop, another loop.
Okay. What is the other loop going to be?
It's going to run 50 times from the amount of the elements inside the loop.
Now, if what you would like to do as a loop, because now it's not clear to you what is the loop we're going to be doing. Okay, tell me what's going to be the next step. Now, what you need to do is what?
So we found the max, which is the last element of the sorted array.
All right.
So we need to find the next second max.
So how to find the next second max?
Do the first loop again.
Do the first loop again?
Yes, but you will find the.
So I'm just put the max again to be the first element? Yes. Now make this second loop, right? You're talking about this second loop? Make it minus 1, right? Not the first one? The sorted array. This one? So what do you want? Okay, let's remove this. What do you would like to do? The sorted array, put it in a loop. What do you mean by put it in a loop? I'm doing a for loop, okay. So for the sorted dot length minus 1 minus I, but I'm not in why I? Let's not. I is going to be what? 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. But you know, you're trying to do something that is not clear. What are you trying to do? Now, this is what we did so far. To sort the array, we just, let's say I'm just going to take this, and we had like this 5, 7, 2, 9, and then 1. Now what we did is that we found the maximum among this, and then we saved it. Okay, this is the last one, this is the maximum. Now what we should do now is, I should do what? Array I is equal to 0. What is array I? Because I changes. Now what happened is, okay, let's just, sorry. Now what we did, we had this array. In this for loop, we found the maximum. We said this is the maximum. Then we found that this is bigger than the maximum, so this is now our max. And then we found, oh, this is the maximum, so we found that this is the maximum of the array. And after we finished, this was the maximum. We just displayed that this is the maximum. And then what we did, we wanted to save this into this new sorted array that we did, and we put it somewhere here at the last part. Now what we need to do is, the minimum, fine, we can find the minimum to put it in the first place, but then find something in between. But it's kind of hard if you do the maximum minimum and then every time once the maximum minimum, what about the in between? It's going to be harder to make it in a loop. Now the first thing that needs to be done is remove the 9 from that place.
Swap the value.
So basically, now this here, what I could do, I need to remove it, because I'd like to run it again trying to find the maximum without this value is going to give me the next maximum. But how to remove this? Because I cannot put any number. If I put -1, what if all my numbers are negatives? Now -1 becomes like maybe a bigger number. So removing is not maybe the better option. There might be a better option, yes.
Swapping it with the last.
Swapping it with the last one. Now what I can do, I can just take this and swap it with the last one. Instead of putting it in a new array, I can just still work on the same array, but this time on the last one. Well, put it on the last one. Why is this going to be a good idea? Because now, after I put this 9 here, and this becomes 1, I'm just going to find the maximum not in the full array, but just up to here. And then I found the maximum, it's going to be here, 7, let's say. I'm going to put 7 here, this is going to be 1, and then I'm going to find the maximum only from this sub-array, let's say, here. And I'm going to keep doing it until I finish the whole array. That's maybe one option, right? Let's see how this is going to work out. Now, what I'm going to do, now this max is going to be not what I'm not going to do, because if I'd like to swap these, swap this one with this one, the last one I know its position, but the maximum I don't know what it is. So I need the position of the max, not the value of the max. So this max here, I'm going to convert it, instead of looking at array of 0, I'm just going to make it 0 to be the position 0, and then I'm going to find the position of the max. So now the max is not going to be max, but it's going to be array of max is going to be our maximum. And then once I have that position, now this is the position of the max, I can have the position and the value by doing this. This is the position, this is the value. Now if I just run it again, just to make sure that I'm doing the same thing again. Now the maximum is 99, while I'm not putting it here anymore. I don't want to put it there anymore. So I'm just going to use the same array to display the same array again. But this time, before displaying, I don't need this one. Before displaying it, I'm just going to, let's say, swap the maximum with the one inside to be the last. So once I finish this, I need to swap the maximum's place. Now, how can I swap the maximum's values? Well, array.length -1. Why this is -1? This is the last position that I need to put the value in. Is going to be array of max. But I cannot do that, because I would like to also do the opposite, which is this here, this here is going to be the max. But I cannot do that because I need to, if you have two variables, if you'd like to swap them, you need a third variable so you don't lose the content of those variables. Because now if I just do this, let me just cancel. If I'm just do this, array length.-1, this is here, is going to, I'm going to put inside of it array of max. So I'm going to do this 9 now instead of 1. So 1 is 1. Where did 1 go? I lost it. Now if I'm doing this array array.length -1, which is this one here. What is this one? This is 9 now. I'm going to put it inside of max. Well, it's 9 already, so I just lost 1. So I need to have some kind of temporary variable to do the swapping, because I would like to swap these two. So that's my sorting here that I did, but I'm going to simplify this a little bit. I'm going to declare a variable called maybe last. This is last position. The last position the first time is going to be this, and then I'm just going to use this last position. Why am I doing this? Because next time this last position is going to be -1. I'm going to do something else. I need to have a temporary variable. I'm just going to make it temp. Inside that temporary variable, I'm just going to put this. So now this is how I can swap the position of the two values. Now what I'm doing, I take this one, I put it inside of temp. So now temp, it has 1. And then the next step is array of max. I put it inside of array of last position here. So now this is going to remove that 1 and put 9 instead of it. And now whatever is in temp, I'm going to put it instead of array of max, which is here. This is max. I'm going to remove this and make it 1. And this is how I just swapped these two. So if I run this thing, I'm just going to run it with smaller numbers so I can just clearly see what is happening. Now these are the values. The bigger number is this one. I just put the bigger number at the end. Right? This one finds the position of that number. Sorry, this one finds the position of that number. Once I found that position, I just swap it. And once I swap it, after displaying is going to be, now which one is the max? This 84, it's already the last. Let's try another one. Now this is 92. See, I swapped 92 and 79. If I'm not using the temp, and I'm using only this, what is going to happen is what I showed you. Now the maximum is 99, but I lost this 78 because 99 stayed where it is. I wanted this to be changed, so I'm not changing it. I'm just removing the last one and put the max inside of it. So I really need to do this extra variable to remember the position, the value at the last position, and then put the max at the last position, and then the value is going to be where the max was. And that's how it's going to work. If I change array last position to what? Here? Here? Yes. Well, why did you do that then? Because I put the last position in temp, then I remove the last position and put max in temp. I don't need to do that. Now I remember the array of last position, and then I change it with the max. Then I put the last position in place of the max, because now the temp is the last position, so I put it there. So that's how it works. Now that I've done this, the next step is to do exactly the same thing, but instead of looking at the whole array, I'm going to need to find the max just in this part of the array, which means I will just basically I need to do the same thing, right? And then the swapping. But I need to do two things. First of all, the max will always start at 0. I'm just going to always assume that my first element is the max, and then I'm going to check, but this time not until the end, -1. And then I don't need to declare, this is why I don't need to declare it again. Then when I'm done, well, the last position is not going to be now the last position. It should now the one before the last. And once I've done this, now we will have two numbers sorted out. This is the highest, well, it happens to be just close to each other. Now this is the highest, it was already in place, and then the second highest is at this place, and the 51 was where that second highest was. Now let's try another one where they were different. Okay, let's see here. This is 100. This is where the 21 was, so I just swapped 100 with 21. Then I was looking in that array which one is the largest, and then we found that 99 that was here. So that's why I just replaced this 99 with this value here. And we have to do this until we finish them all.
Why write last position minus minus?
Because our last position was here. Now next time, last position should be here.
Just write array length minus 1 without use the last position.
We did array length minus 1. This array length minus 1 is just going to check in this sub array. But once I found it, where am I going to put the maximum? Here? So it was here. Now I want it to be before that one. So that's why I made it minus minus.
Minus, can you change 1 to 2?
What do you mean? Which one? Which?
Minus 2.
Where? Here, I can do this. But I would like to show you something that is going to be in a loop. That's why I'm doing it. I can just take this and yeah, do this equals minus 2. Okay, fine. Now if I need to do it again, copy. Why am I doing it this way? I would like to show you that if you're not able to see a loop, try to do it again and again, and you'll be able to see a loop happening. Now if I do it again, now I have 3 numbers normally, but no, because I forgot. When I just copy and paste, I should increase. This becomes now 3, this becomes now 2, and then the rest is the same. If I run it again now, I'm going to have the 3 highest at the back. 99 first, then 97, then 95. With all the numbers being replaced. For example, what was in 99 when we swapped 99 with 95? So, and then we swapped 95 with 97, so 71 is still here. So all the numbers are still there, that's what I'm trying to say. 97 was here, so with 78. So all the numbers are still there. Those that were swapped are the ones that were here. So I should just keep doing this until when? Until this becomes 0. When this becomes 0, I need to stop. But I can put it in a while loop, but check this. This is I'm just going to see what I started copying. This is what I started. Let me just maybe copy and put it in the same order, or maybe it will be easier to. Where is this one? Yeah. This one first. Why? Because this is the first time. This is for the last I could say last position. And then I get this. Then this is the next second last position. And then I did this. Then this is the third last position. And now notice one thing every time that I'm doing. So I'm doing exactly the same thing, except that this was 1, it will become 2. This was minus 0, it will become minus 1. So I can put some kind of a loop there that is going to increase until this last position becomes 0, which means this last position will be equal to array.length. When this is going to increase, it will be 1, 2, 3 until array.length. Then I'm going to stop. And this is my for loop. So let's do the for loop. Let's try to do the for loop. Now the for loop is going to have this inside. So I just would like to take the declaration outside the for loop. So I declare, and then I'm just going to put them outside. So the declaration here is going to be like this. And then I'm just going to, this thing I want it to repeat. So I'm going to make it inside of a for loop. That's what I'm trying to do. Surround with a for loop. Yeah, I forgot to also have the temp, so I'm just going to wave. Well, the temp, it can be declared here, it doesn't matter, because I don't really need it there. Now, here this is an I, and I can, both of them cannot be I, so just this one, I'm just going to rename it to J. It's just to keep the I outside. Now here, as you have seen, it was -0, this is -1, and then it will be -2, and this one -1. Why this -0? I put it here so you can see, okay, this needs to increase. The first time is 0, so this I was 0. So I can put I. So the first time is going to be 0, and this one minus I, so it will be -0, so nothing happens. But when I becomes 1, this becomes -2, this is what I want, and this becomes -1, this is what I want. And then when it becomes, again, this 3, that means I becomes 2, 2 minus 1, that's 3, and this is become 2, so it's doing what I want it to do, so it's looking good. I'm just going to remove these now and focus on where should I stop. I said I should stop where? The array.length is going to be array.length. So if it was 5, let's say 10 here, when I becomes 9, this, the last position is going to become 9 minus, no, minus 9, minus 1. So it's going to be minus 10. 10 minus 10, 0. So the last position is going to be 0, and that's where I should stop. So now if I just run this thing, I'm sorting the array from the smallest to the largest by just putting the maximum to the back. That's one way to sort it, right? And let me show you something. Check this. I have just found also this kind of very interesting website with the tool that allows us to have different kind of sorting. And check, there are different types of sorting. There is something called bubble sort, another one selection sort, insertion sort, merge sort, quick sort. All of these are different ways how to sort things. Now we've seen one of them, and if I'm going to run, this is what we've been doing so far. This is called the selection sort. Now this selection sort does just that. We just find the maximum and then put it in the back, and then look at the maximum for the remaining, put it in the one before the back, and so on until you just sort the whole array. Now there's another type of sorting, and we're going to see that as well until next time, which is the bubble sort. The bubble sort works differently, and we're going to do that inshallah next time. But for this time, just have a look at this, how it works. Can you guess how this works? Maybe let's make it a little bit slower so you can see what is happening. Let's just start again. Sorry, and then yeah, right. So it just, but yeah, it just do something. Sometimes it doesn't do anything, or sometimes it does, right? So it compares 2 by 2. Okay, but hold on. Look, what is going to happen all the time is, you see, the big ones are going to be always pushed to the right side, and then when I find the bigger one, I'm just going to keep pushing it to the right side. So this is the bigger one. Seems like this is the max. I'm going to keep pushing it until it reaches the last position, and start again. You see, the first one of these two, they were not changed because the big one was all the other right. I'm always looking for which one is the big one, the one on the right or on the left. If the one on the right is always is the big one, I'm not doing anything. If it's not, then I'm going to swap them to ensure that it's always on the right side. So we're going to see this algorithm, inshallah, next class.